The fierce urgency of now. This is no time to engage in the luxury of cooling off or to take the tranquilizing drug of gradualism.
No, never had the fear. We were so glad to be a part of it. The change was coming. You know, like you've been in a hole so long, you'll do anything to get out. So we were not afraid. We were not afraid.
Now is the time to make real the promises of democracy. Now is the time.
Dr. King did what he could do, and we were determined to help Dr. King because we knew what it was like.
To rise from the dark and desolate valley of segregation to the sunlit path of racial justice.
We knew that we couldn't get our food. If we wanted it, we would just ask for it and they would sit it on the end of the counter. You get it and leave. You wouldn't go and sit down. Later we started sitting down. And sometimes they would ask us to get up or come and arrest us because they would say we were trespassing. Couldn't drink from the same fountain. And sometimes they would have a rod coming out of the ground and where you would turn it on and put your head under it and get a drink, whereas they had the fountains. That's how we could get water. Well, when I went off to college, we were marching with Dr. King, and we would hold our signs, and they would still talk to us, call us niggas and everything. So that's when I went to college. That's when I started marching and standing up for our rights. It was during the time of the voting that we could vote, and it was a way we had to fill out the application. And if we didn't fill out the application correct, then they would say, how can you know who to vote when you don't know how to fill out this application? And one thing was on the application was how you have to hyphenate a word. They had a little line on this end, and we had to hyphenate, like Alabama. And a long line on the other end where you could write the whole word. So we had to know we had to finish that line. So we had to write ALA and then go put Alabama on the other end. And if you didn't do it right, they would say, well, you don't know how to fill out this application. So I noticed that. And but I went on and I wrote it like that. And then when my husband came through, he failed. And he was much up on writing than I was. And I asked if he abbreviated Alabama. He said no. He just went to the other line and wrote Alabama on the other end. And that's what we both failed. So I went back, we had to wait 2 weeks. This time I did the hyphenate. I did that and put Alabama, fill out that. And they said, you passed this time. So when I told him what I had done, he said, that couldn't be it. I said, go try it. He came back. He had a few choice words when he came back, but he passed too, doing the same thing. I'll come back today, children, to tell you the hard way that I had to go, in order that the race might live and grow. So it puts it back into you, what you had to go through to help the race. And the children can almost look like they feel you. They feel it. They can feel when it's real. Didn't have that fear at all. It was something that was embedded in us, that we were fighting for something, and if we were killed, we would be victorious in fighting for the rights of others or fighting for our rights.